I still think of you. That is the quote that came in as I was getting ready to start this reading video. I'm picking up on the energy of someone who has been heavily thinking about you recently and sending you that kind of energy. And right as I said that, I pulled the throat chakra card, the communication card. So this is also someone who has been really contemplating wanting to reach out to you or wanting to communicate. The word thoughtful is coming out. So not only are they thinking heavily of you, but I get that this is someone who is very thoughtful and introspective in general. I'm also hearing the words gentle soul. So I feel like there is a gentleness about this energy coming through here. This seems to be someone who has a very warm, open-hearted, sweet sort of nature, even if they are a masculine energy, which I am getting is the case for many of you. I'm picking up that many of you listening are a divine feminine, and this is a masculine who is very gentle-natured. There's something about animals, so they may really love animals. Specifically, dogs are coming out here for someone. I'm seeing glasses as well, so someone could wear glasses. And with the angel of love in the upright position, this is someone who's been heavily reflecting on how your energy made them feel. And it really is that feeling about you that has stuck with this person all this time. I feel it's been long enough since you've communicated, or at least had consistent communication, that a lot of those specific conversations or words could maybe have been sort of forgotten on a conscious level. Although, of course, there may still be some conversations that do stick with you from your time with this person. But I'm getting that what they really can't forget about you, even after all this time, even after they forget a lot of the specifics of what you talked about, even after they've seen you or interacted with you, what sticks with them is how your energy affected them. I'm seeing sand like on a beach, which I feel could represent like leaving footprints in the sand, leaving some kind of impression on this person that they still feel. I'm also getting that there is a lot of warmth from them. So I don't feel as though there's any bad blood here. I don't feel like there is any negativity at all that this person feels towards you. But there is almost this layer of confusion is what I'm getting. And so whoever this reading is for, which, by the way, use your intuition, because I do channel into many different people and situations through these readings. But if you would like more specific messages from the reading videos, I do recommend liking the video and subscribing to the channel, because I do notice that once you are subscribed, it tends to be easier for me to pick up on your energy and channel more specifically for you. So I'm getting, though, in this situation that this is someone that you were in some sort of confusing kind of situation with, especially I'm hearing the words the end. So something about the way that things appeared to end with this person, although did they ever really end from a spiritual perspective? Because here they are still showing up in your reading with the manifestation card, the cornucopia card. They are still heavily like connected to you energetically. And I actually feel that there is some seed of desire here within this person when it comes to you. They are craving that softness of your energy that they can't forget and that they haven't found or experienced anywhere else. And again, I just feel all of this warmth and true admiration. This is someone who deeply admires you as a person. And I'm getting that you admire them as well. There was a lot of mutual admiration here, but things seem to end. And I'm hearing it could have been a misunderstanding or a miscommunication that led to some kind of ending or uprooting between the two of you with the Blossoming Abundance card in the reverse position. But I also feel with the Patience card that there is a longevity to this connection. It's continuing to be felt on both sides. It feels like something you're both still connected to at a heart level, even when you aren't communicating. And I'm getting that if you were to communicate at some point in the future, it would feel like you picked up right where you left off. This is definitely someone who is part of your soul family, whether it's a soulmate or maybe a twin flame for some of you, but I'm getting very strong, warm soulmate energy for many people listening. And I feel as though something about this doesn't seem to be quite over. It feels like there is still some thread to be picked up between the two of you. I'm seeing a really heavy book. I also saw a Bible, so someone here could be a Christian, or someone could be very into reading the Bible or something like that. That could be relevant to someone here. But I'm getting something about how there is some contract energy with the contract card. I'm hearing the words "not yet." So I almost feel like you and this person met or connected or had some like warm, mutually admiring connection or interaction that seemed to kind of drop off abruptly, not because of any negativity, but just because of some either misunderstanding or confusion, or there was just a sudden drop off here, but it didn't have that negative energy that we often get with a drop off, which is what makes this bond so interesting. I feel like you may have just both kind of drifted apart or stopped talking or something like that, but there wasn't any true negativity or animosity at all between the two of you on either side. And in fact, there was still this palpable warmth between you, like the heart connection was still there. But with the words "not yet," this tells me that there may be a reason that the two of you were not able to continue connecting or to progress things forward from a spiritual perspective. I feel there was something that this person had to wrap up with this contract card. So I do want to channel more deeply into that. I'm going to be reshuffling some of the cards here, because this is one of the more interesting connections I think I've channeled into recently, just because there's this layer of confusion here. There's this sense that neither of you really wanted it to end, and yet it ended. And again, it makes me think maybe there was a miscommunication with walking away reversed. Yeah, this is someone who wants to, I'm hearing, can we get back to the way things were? Whether this is a friend or a romantic person, which for many of you I'm getting, it would be romantic, but it doesn't have to be. It feels like they are heavily thinking about how they wish they could just undo the last however long it's been since the two of you last spoke or connected. They wish things hadn't just suddenly dropped off, because they do still feel this warmth and admiration. And right as I was saying, they still feel this warmth, we got the heart chakra card confirming that warm feeling that they still have towards you on their heart. So this is someone who's still very open-hearted towards you. I'm getting the color purple may be significant to you. We also have attachment in the reverse position. So I feel like maybe the reason, going back to this "not yet" idea, the reason that you couldn't have connected yet in the past, or there was something that caused the two of you to need to be disconnected, I feel that it had to do with a heavy energy around this person that they had to let go of. But then, of course, it begs the question, why did you meet to begin with if it was going to not be the time yet for the two of you to move forward? But I'm getting that you were meant to be a catalyst for them. So you actually inspired this person on a spiritual level to let go of whatever this heavy energy is or was that they were dealing with. So yeah, with the Page of Pentacles in the reverse position, I'm getting something like when the two of you were connecting, it's almost like, oh, I'm getting chills as I'm channeling into this. It's almost like you were connecting on a future timeline. And I know that sounds really strange, but let me explain what I mean. It's almost as though, and a butterfly might be a symbol for you, it's almost as though you were connecting with a future version of this person. So what I'm getting is that when you first met or connected with them, you were a catalyst to actually inspire them forward into that future version of themselves. So during the time that you were connected in the past, it may have felt almost sort of dreamlike is the best way I can describe it. Almost as though you were connecting in a place like outside of the physical world, which of course you were having your physical, literal interactions. But I feel like energetically, it almost felt that you were meeting in the middle of your two worlds, connecting in like this third space outside of either of your worlds, where you were kind of like in a sort of void with just the two of you. meeting and connecting and having these conversations. But the sense is that you actually came from two very different worlds. So this person may have been coming from a certain world that connected with a version of themselves that they were outgrowing, whereas you and your world seem to connect with a version of them that they were desiring to become. So it's almost like their higher self manifested that their lower 3D physical self would have this meeting point with you, even though I'm hearing usually you never would have met or been brought together, because it seems like you do come from very different worlds or your frequencies are very different. So the strange thing is, typically I'm getting that you never would have been brought together because via the law of attraction, like attracts like. So similar frequencies attract each other. But what I'm getting is you, in a way, carried very different kinds of frequencies or energies. I mean, you are soul family, soulmates, or twin flames. So at a core level, you have the same energy. But on the surface, this person was like consciously in a very different kind of energy. But I'm getting that something was overpowering that. Like from an energy perspective, the reason you were brought together is because there was this intention that was overpowering that like dissonant energy between the two of you. And the intention was that intention of their higher self to meet you in the physical so that they would be inspired into this future version of them that I feel they had really been longing for. It's almost like they literally asked the universe, God, their higher self, whatever divine forces they connect with, if they could become the best version of themselves. They requested for some kind of transformation, or that they would have an upgrade, that they would be able to achieve or to do something in this world. I'm getting the word ambitious. So this person seems to have a very ambitious soul. But the answer to that prayer, to that request, was that the universe sent them you, because you were meant to be a catalyst to inspire them to that higher version of themselves. So that would answer the question as to why the two of you met initially, even though initially that connection may have not been sustainable. But I'm getting it was never really meant to be initially. So you were always meant to be this like touch point for them, this catalyst that would inspire them into this higher version of themselves. But I feel that from a higher perspective, there was always meant to be this period of time where the two of you would then go your separate ways again and be disconnected for a certain amount of time, so that this person could go about actually becoming that higher version of them that you were inspiring them to. And that's why there was never any feeling of animosity or negativity between the two of you, even though you parted ways. It may have been confusing, yes, but there was still this warmth and affection, because that is your higher selves knowing that there was always meant to be this period of time where you would be temporarily disconnected from each other, so that this person could, undistracted, really focus on becoming this higher version of themselves, working through limitations within themselves and their life that you illuminated to them. It's almost like you came into this person's life and somehow immediately showed them all of the ways in which they needed to change to actually become this higher version of themselves. Now, I don't feel like you did this consciously by like literally saying you need to change this or that. It was subconscious and spiritual, but still very real and very effective. So your presence in this person's life showed them essentially the map of how to become a higher version of themselves. You gave them the map through your presence, through your conversation with them, through your interaction with them. But now they have to be the ones, and they have been the ones doing this work to free themselves from those negative belief systems and heavy energies that were actually holding them back from becoming that version of them that you catalyzed them into. And if you were to stay connected with this person, I'm getting it wouldn't have worked from a spiritual perspective, at least not at that time, because it would have caused you to have to lower your vibration in order to stay more physically connected with them. And you were never meant to do that. Your soul would have been completely resistant to that. It never would have happened that way, because you have become so beautifully committed and dedicated to your own growth, your own perpetual growth. And so I'm getting that you are not willing to compromise or sacrifice that growth for anyone. And so on a soul level, you knew that you couldn't stay more connected with this person because they had things they needed to work through. And if you tried to stay connected with them through all of that, it would have lowered your vibration and you had to commit to your own perpetual expansion. But then I see on this person's end, they knew on a soul level that they needed to focus on themselves undistracted and actually become the version of them that could then potentially reconnect with you in the future. But this is exactly why you've both still been feeling this potential reconnection with each other as well. You both had this sense that on the other side of this person's growth, that you are somehow going to reconnect later on down the line. That has been both of you sensing into that very real futuristic timeline potential here. Yeah, for communication. And I feel the reason that this video has come across your feed is because you are now entering some kind of zone energetically where that newfound communication is going to be becoming possible with this person, where there's going to be like some sort of portal opening that is going to make reconnection here possible if that is something that you are still desiring. So I want to take a look at what that reconnection might look like. But first, if this has been resonating with you and you would like to manifest or facilitate contact communication from this person, then I would really recommend two different subliminals that I've created given what's coming up in this reading. The first one is called Break No Contact. This one is extremely powerful for helping you become magnetic for the forms of contact and communication that you desire. I have heard some of the most amazing testimonials just from this one subliminal. So I've literally heard people say that they've used this and then within a couple weeks, they have been literally unblocked by someone who had them blocked for 2 years in order to contact them. I also heard a story from someone who meditated with this outside, and when they opened their eyes right during listening to this subliminal, they literally saw the person they've been wanting to hear from driving by and waving at them. So many people tend to experience synchronicities like this when they are listening to this subliminal or very soon after to help them to manifest contact from someone that they've been desiring to communicate with. The second one that I would recommend is called Manifest Their Highest Self. Now, what this subliminal does is it helps you to hold this space energetically that inspires the people around you and connected to you, not just physically, but even in this case, when you're spiritually connected, that inspires them into the highest possible version of themselves, especially when they're in your presence. So essentially your energy becomes like a tuning fork that inspires and uplifts everyone who comes into contact with that energy to a better version of themselves. It will help you to feel as though you are constantly bringing out the best in others. So people will say things to you like, wow, I just feel like my best self when I'm around you. So both of these will really help to facilitate the energy shifts happening in this connection and with this person if you do desire some kind of movement forward or reconnection here. And these come from my subliminals app, Sound and Soulful, which is my soul's passion project. I personally use these subliminals still every single day to clear my energy, to feel more grounded and safe and secure in this world, and to tune myself into the frequency of the visions and the things that I manifest in my own life. So because I see such powerful results from them myself, I really love sharing the subliminals I create with all of you. There's now a really amazing new feature in the app as well, where you can create a playlist based on your personalized desires and goals. So you can input what those desires are, and then you can get back a customized playlist created from subliminals in the app that would be aligned with that goal or with whatever it is you'd like to shift in your own life. So there is so much to explore within the app, so many different subliminals for different areas of your life. And you can get started for free by clicking the link in the pinned comment underneath this video. So I'm going to go ahead and reshuffle the cards here and just see what this person is going to be communicating potentially, because there is this portal of communication opening up here. The contract card. So I actually feel that they want to discuss this heavy energy that's been around them. And I'm hearing unanswered questions. I feel like there was something between the two of you that was left very open-ended or unanswered. It feels as though you had questions about why this ended that never really got answered, or maybe questions about what was going on in this person's life with the anxiety card. I feel this could have been something that they were really worried about, but I'm getting the word embarrassed. I almost feel that there was something that this person was embarrassed to open up to you about or to tell you about. I'm getting it could have been related to their family or their personal life, but it was something that was causing them to feel very out of sorts. With the temple path reversed, it was making them feel, I'm hearing almost like they were in a survival mode, like they were disconnected from their true soul's highest timeline because they were just focused on surviving. They couldn't really think about what they really desired, which seemed to be this connection with you, because they had this heavy energy around them that was causing them to really fixate on something that felt stuck in their material world, or something that kept them in like this survival mode. But again, there was this element of feeling embarrassed to talk to you about it. And yet with women holding a heart, they feel as though you never stopped holding their heart. I feel you brought out something within this person, especially emotionally, that no one has ever brought out in them before. And again, getting back to the very beginning of this reading, it's your heart that makes you unforgettable, not just to this person, but to literally everyone who has the privilege of coming into contact with you. I just felt the need to say that as well. So if you'd really like to lock in that energy, type in the comments section, it's my heart that makes me unforgettable, because that really is what is so rare about you. It's not your literal words or actions. It's the energy that you emit and that you infuse into every conversation, every interaction. It's you living with your heart open that makes you so unforgettable. For some reason, I heard something about a job candidate. So this could be a side message, but I feel that for someone listening, maybe you are a candidate for a job or for some kind of position, or you are like desiring to, I don't know, compete. It feels like an element of competition, or like there is maybe more than one potential choice, but you are a candidate. And I know that's very specific, but if that is a situation you're in right now, your guides want you to know that everything is happening according to a divine higher plan, and that your energy is what makes you unforgettable. It's almost like there is no competition because you are coming from your heart and you're sharing or speaking or moving from your heart. And that is making you completely unforgettable in whatever context this is coming up for you, whether it is some sort of like situation where you are a candidate for something, whether it's just your life generally, or whether it is specifically with this person. Remember that it's really your heart energy that makes you so rare and so unforgettable in this world. And the world really needs more of that heart-centered energy. So I just want to close this reading by saying thank you for having the courage to show up in that energy every single day. I would love to be along with you for that journey here on the channel. So if this resonated, subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community here, and be sure to turn on notifications so you get notified every time I post content that could be relevant to something happening currently on your life path. And if you would like to use the subliminals I mentioned earlier to shift your energy, to shift your inner dialogue, and to manifest more powerfully in your life, then the link to get started for free is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. Otherwise, I am sending you huge amounts of love and light energy. Have an amazing day, and I will connect with you here again in the next reading.